Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Now, I didn't know I was going to be able to do the Masterclass today, but the President's Putter, which is a golf tournament I was supposed to be playing in, has actually been cancelled due to the horrific weather that we have in the UK today. So I'm not down in Rye. I am instead in my Surrey attic, and that means I'm going to get, well, what I'm sure will be a great pleasure, but it might be a struggle. I'm going to attempt to solve today's Times crossword. And when I say attempt to solve, I really do mean that, because this is by John Henderson today. Now, those of you who've been following the Masterclass for some time will know that last year there were 2 or 3 occasions on which John Henderson produced puzzles that were the hardest basically in the history of records in the Times. There's an unofficial grading of the difficulty of Times crosswords. It's called the Times Crossword Snitch rating, and that rating was absolutely ludicrously high on several occasions, about three occasions last year, and today we have another one. So if we just go to the stats for today's Times crossword, I mean, this is incredible. I don't know the name Freema's 1968. That could be real. 8 minutes 20 would be a slow typist. Alexis Johansson, I believe, is real. 11 minutes 13. Then you've got Mark, the 13-time Times Crossword Championship, with almost a 12-minute time. Now, Mark's average time would be around 6 minutes, I would suggest. So that gives you an idea of how hard, basically the best crossword solver ever has found this. And then Verlaine Matthew Marcus, winner of the Times Crossword Championship just two years ago, 17 minutes. Now, Matthew's average time is around 6 minutes as well. So this is monstrous. Let's actually go further down. I wonder if Dean's a fantastic solver. I always look out for Dean's name. 13 minutes there. Sorry, not 13 minutes. 33 minutes. Oh, look. Okay, and you can get in the top 51 with 7 errors. So that's okay. So this is obviously an exceptionally difficult puzzle. John's puzzles are always exceptionally good, very often exceptionally difficult, and I am looking forward to battling with this one. And we'll get cracking, and I'll try and talk you through my thoughts such as they are in a moment or two's time. Just a quick appeal: if you do enjoy these videos, please do please do subscribe. The YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to think that cryptic crosswords are very popular, but the feedback for these videos seems to suggest that for some people they really are. So anything you can do to help the algorithm on its way, we would be most grateful about. And if you do like our crossword content, there's lots of extra content over on Patreon all the time, including Mark's Solve of the Times Club monthly special. So if you like viciously difficult cryptic crosswords, that is a video for you. Now, that's said and done. I've got no birthdays to do today, I don't think. I'm a bit all over the place now, but let's get cracking. Let's have a go. And I'll have to just check that I'm using a new format on the screen today, and I'm using new recording software, but that looks okay. And I know some of you couldn't see last week the clue in the bottom right hand corner was invisible, so I'm hoping that's going to be better today. So let's just go back to the puzzle itself. Yeah, it might be I'm not sure what I can do about that. I'll scroll as best I can, but anyway, let's get cracking. 1 across, 8 letters. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. I mean, that is a brilliant surface. I mean, the ashes. I don't want to think about the ashes, but it conjures up an image about the ashes and the batting collapses that England inevitably seem to suffer from. Remember, all these clues they all contain a straightforward definition of the answer to be entered. And then the rest of the clue is a recipe. It's what we call wordplay, which will tell you to anagram something or reverse a word and put it inside another word. And it's the whole, not the whole trick, but a lot of the trick to these puzzles is being able to read them properly. There is a type of clue, though, that is called a cryptic definition. And that's a clue where the whole clue needs to be read. and just thought about from a lateral thinking perspective. And a clue like that will always be signified by a question mark appearing at the end of the clue. Now, a question mark doesn't mean that it's not the only thing a question mark can mean, but it is one of the meanings. So it's possible that this is a cryptic definition. So, and if it is, the last thing batter needs to stop collapse. I'm wondering whether... I don't know, actually. The other thing this could be... Sorry, we're going through the full gamut here. The other type of clue that exists, and it's the hardest clue to write from a constructor's perspective, but John Henderson is not going to have any problem writing clues of this quality, is what the technical term for it is and lit, like an ampersand sign and then LIT dot. And that is a clue in which the whole clue acts as a definition. And the whole clue also can be read as a recipe to give you the answer. So it's an incredibly difficult clue to write because all the words in the clue have to do double duty. And it does occur to me that I could read this clue as a complete instruction. The last thing batter needs, that feels like it's hinting at the letter R. The last letter in the word batter is R. And that stops collapse. Now, if you put a stop in a bottle, you put a cork in it, don't you? So to stop can be used as a container indicator. So I'm wondering if we have to put R in a 7-letter word that means collapse. And then the whole thing will mean the last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Collapse. Fall in. I haven't got this, obviously, and I don't think I'm doing a very good job of even passing the clue. It would be a great clue to get, though, wouldn't it? I get 4 starting letters. Let me just read it one more time. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. I really like that interpretation, that this is an and lit. Collapse. I can't get it, though. Should we go for... I'm tempted, given how hard this puzzle is, to go for something like 15 down, just to get some sort of handle on it. Let's have a look at 15 down, just because I get some starting letters from this. Oh, I didn't mean to move the screen down. Let me just check that my screen is still in the right place. Yeah, I think that's okay. So, scales one of these when going over rising ground. Scales. Scales one of these when going over rising ground. He's a brilliant clue writer. He's just brilliant. I haven't got a clue what that means. I mean, my first thought, which is going to seem completely nuts, is that it involves an anagram of the word rising. Now, you may say, what? Well, it's because of the word ground there, which looks like it's a noun. But if you grind something in a mill, you sort of destroy it, don't you? And the past tense of grind is ground. So the letters of rising, if they were ground, they might be mixed. So could it be scales one of these? I want to say star signs or so. It couldn't be. Can't be. No, it can't be. Like. One of these when going over. When going over rising ground. I mean, there can't be a word air signs, can there? Like, is that a weird word for this, a sign of the zodiac? When going over. The way that would work from a recipe perspective would be the word when is indicating the word as it happened, when it happened. And that goes over, so it sort of surrounds. Going over, I'm not sure I agree that get to something going over something means surrounding it, but it probably can. So maybe as goes around an anagram of rising. Now that would allow us to create the phrase air signs. And I don't know whether that is a euphemism for signs of the zodiac. The scales are one of the signs of the zodiac. I don't know, it's possible, isn't it? I just don't know it, so I'm not prepared to put it in. If it was correct, we'd have an A at the start of 15 across, 7 letters. In the company of medic, dread takes hold. That's got to be amongst. And I've done a clue, and the A looks like it's good there, which is very interesting. So, how does this one work? Again, the entire trick to solving this clue is to cut it in the correct place. Now, unfortunately, I've revealed the answer. I don't mean to do that, but in the company of, if you're in the company of people, you are amongst them. So if you're new to these puzzles, take a moment and see if you can work out why the recipe part of the clue, which is the rest of it, is giving the word amongst. And the reason, we have to think about medic. Now, medic is difficult from a cryptic crossword perspective because there are so many short abbreviations for doctors, GP, DR, but one of them is MO, which, believe it or not, is a medical officer. If we go to my dictionary, hopefully it will work. MO, medical officer, there we go. Let me just check that that's showing up on this. Yeah, it's working. I think it's working, isn't it? That looks okay. So we've got medic, which is MO. Dread takes hold. So we need a 5-letter word for dread, which is angst. And that has taken hold of, it's surrounded the MO. And that gives us amongst. So do we dare pencil in air signs there? Maybe we'll pencil it in. I won't dare look it up yet until we are sure. So let's have a look at 20 then. 3, 5. Film. 1 crashing against tree, then reversed over. Film 1 crashing against tree, then reversed over. Film. I'm not brilliant on films. I mean, there are many things I'm not brilliant at, but films, especially if they're older films, I feel like that is a definite gap in my knowledge. If this was the name of an old film beginning with R, it would be, I want to say Red something. The Hunt for Red October doesn't fit. 1 crashing against tree, then reversed over. One crashing against tree. Rio something? Rio. I don't know. I don't think I know that. I mean, air signs might be wrong. This might be what's telling us this. Right, let's look at 8-4 for 23 across. I hate you. I hate you. Slogan ultimately adopted by disaffected Biden voters. I hate you. I don't know what's going on here. But if I had to try and discern how to read the clue, It's 12 letters long. What could disaffected Biden voters mean? Obviously, it could be somehow a reference to Democratic voters in America, but it seems so unlikely to me that there is a word for that. So, disaffected, I think, is being used there as an anagram indicator. So we're looking for Biden voters, which is 11 letters, so being anagrammed, and then slogan ultimately, well, that's the ultimate letter of the word slogan, that's N, adopted, so inside an anagram of Biden voters. And the whole, this is what I don't understand at all, the whole thing means I hate you, or text, I hate you. It is going to be, see, do we think it really does begin with I? So we need to put an extra N in Biden voters and scramble it up. Is it inverted? Inverted snob? Is that a thing? That vaguely rings a bell. An inverted snob? I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure I've done the anagram right there. I think inverted snob is close, if not correct. An inverted snob. Let's have a look at 24 down. I mean, I'm going to leave it there. This is meant to be very hard. So, I mean, again, what I would say is that if you are watching one of these masterclasses for the first time, please, please, please do not get the impression that you will never be able to solve a Times crossword. This Times crossword today, according to the Snitch, is something that most experienced solvers of a Times crossword won't solve at all. We saw from the list of people who've already solved it that there actually aren't very many people who've even managed to solve it at all. So this is very much going to be a battle, but it's one, as I say, I relish. 4 down, 24 down, 4 letters beginning with V. One used to fighting old prohibition. Okay, well, this is good because that V is justifiable now. So make a decision in your own mind. If you haven't solved the clue yet, read it, reread it, and decide what do you think the definition part of one used to fighting old prohibition is. If you think it's one used to fighting, you're wrong. It's actually just the word prohibition. And a prohibition on something is a veto on it. So how does the recipe work? One used to fighting is a vet, as in a veteran. And old can be abbreviated to O. I do this every week. It bears repetition. Abbreviations have to be supported by the dictionary with very, very, very few exceptions. There we go. O for old. I think the main exceptions you'll come across are t-shirt sizes. So S or small can be abbreviated to S. Large can be abbreviated to L. And if we go to the dictionary, it's somewhat surprising, but if we go to S, we will not find listed amongst the myriad of possible words. You won't find small there, but it is accepted by the Times. But now let's have a look at 26 across 8 letters. Contrary article, edited a lot in the Times. Again, this surfaces are very, very clever, aren't they? Contrary article. I think I've got this one. Okay. And this one we're going to see a different use of the question mark. So, what do you think the answer is? What do you think the definition is? One way of thinking about what the definition might be is to try things that are instructions about positions are very likely to be wordplay. They're very likely to be part of the recipe. So this word contrary, it could mean that we're looking for an 8-word that means contrary, but also if something is treated in a contrary way, it's backwards. So contrary could be a backwards indicator, and that's going to tell us the other side of the clue is the definition. So times or the times. Now let's do the wordplay first. So contrary article. Now the articles you have to be aware of in cryptic crosswords, the ones that come up all the time, are the word the, which is the definite article, a and an, the indefinite articles. So here we're looking for an. We're going to reverse it. We're going to treat it in a contrary way. And then edit it a lot in is saying anagram a lot in. Edit those letters. And that's going to allow us to create the word national. And you may say, well, how does that relate to the Times? Well, the Times is a national newspaper. It is an example of a national newspaper. And that is what the question mark is doing here. That is one allowed meaning of a question mark in a cryptic crossword clue, is if it's saying, if the thing before it, if you like, is an example of what is being defined in the answer. So imagine this had said, there was a recipe and then it had said in blue tit, question mark. Then the answer could have been bird, because blue tit is an example of a bird. Hopefully that makes it a bit clearer. Now let's try 21 down. 6 letters. We have got some letters, assuming inverted snob is correct. On stage as temporary replacement. On stage as temporary replacement. Wow, that's appalling that I can't solve that. I'm so sorry. That is dreadful solving. Because with these checking letters, I should just be able to write that in, and I can't. Oh dear. Let's move swiftly on. 19 down. Real life, 7 letters, and natural laws are seen to grip. Real life and natural laws are seen to grip. Real life. Wow, maybe inverted snob is not right. Let's have a look at 12 down then, because this is 444 with the final letter beginning with, the final word beginning with B. Ring done well, but individual characters adapted rhyme. Ring done well, but individual characters adapted rhyme. Ding dong bell, I want to say. I don't even know why I think that might be the answer. Ding dong. It's so silly. Ding dong. But why is that in my head? I thought maybe when I read the clue it was an anagram. A ring I thought might be an O. Done well, but that's that. So 0. So an O done well, but is 12 letters, and those individual characters might be adapted. And I was thinking, okay, well, can I think of a... But ding dong bell I quite like. Ring done well. Oh, that's very clever. Okay. It is ding dong bell. I don't know what part of my brain has understood what was going on there, but it wasn't the conscious bit. So if you look at the words ring, done, and well, and sort of find a rhyme for each of them, ring, ding, done, dong, just about, well, bell. Yeah, okay, no, that's not how to read it. What we do is we take ring, done, and well, with individual characters adapted in each case. So ring becomes ding. It's not a rhyme of done, it's just an individual character adapted. So done becomes dong. And so we can create ding dong bell from that, and that is a rhyme, ding dong bell. That's great. Okay, so inverted snob, I think I'm going to look it up then. What is an inverted snob? And why is it defined? Inverted snob, here we go. Let me try and, it probably won't, you won't be able to see it. I'll read it because it's so far down the definition. It says, a person who prefers the attitudes and conventions of the lower classes to those of the upper classes. Well, why is inverted snob being oh, hang on, I've now lost the puzzle. Oh, that could have gone totally wrong. No, that's okay. It's still okay. Why is that being defined as... Oh, it keeps scrolling. Why is it doing that? I don't know. I'm a bit worried about this. Sorry. Yeah, it's moved, hasn't it? It's moved. It's now too high on the page. So I've got to move it. I don't know where I've got to move it to now. There. Okay, I can't mess about with that anymore. But okay, you can see 23. I can definitely see you can see that. It says, this I hate you is defining the phrase inverted snob. This is really difficult. I mean, maybe that's something an inverted snob might say because it's sort of... Is it lower class to text or something? I don't know. Let's try 25. 4 letters beginning with E. Within limits, fancied backing, fiery mount. Well, okay, the clue seems to be referring to betting on a fiery racehorse, but fiery mount makes me think of a volcano, and Mount Etna is a volcano. Within limits. Let me just put Etna in. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's very hard. So I think the way this works is we have to think of a 6-letter word for fancied. And I think that might be wanted. And within the limits of the word wanted is A-N-T-E. And we back that part of the word up to create E-T-N-A, Etna, the fiery mount. Not easy. Much easier with Ding Dong Bell in the grid. Right, let's try 27. 4-4. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. That might be... Oh, no, you can see it. You can see it, so that's good news. So, Narcissus advanced in a furtive manner the last of his dodges. Narcissus was sort of a very beautiful youth. Unless it's the name of a plant, something lily or something, love lily or something. No. Advanced in a furtive manner. The last of his dodges. In a furtive manner. I want that to be something like slyly. Slyly. Dodges. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I'm very confident what the definition is here. I'm not sure whether it's Narcissus or whether it's dodges. Oh, no. Okay, no, I've changed my mind about that. I think it is Narcissus. I think it is slyly, isn't it? If we think of the word slyly in a furtive manner, lent lily, that could That could be a thing. If there is a thing called a Lent lily, which I think I've heard of now I've said it, I can justify that. The tricky thing there for me was advanced. I am familiar with advanced being abbreviatable to A, and you might know that from things like A-levels. What does the A stand for in A-levels? It stands for advanced. But if you advance someone money, you lent it to them. So lent. Then in a furtive manner is slyly, but the last letter of his, which is S, is dodging the word slyly, and that just gives us lily. So I'm pretty confident about that now I've actually passed it. Let's check whether a lent lily is a narcissus. Oh, it's a daffodil. It's a daffodil. Is a daffodil a narcissus? Yeah, a yellow-flowered narcissus. There we go. Wow. Okay, great. So lent lily is good. Let's go back to 19 down. Real, 7 letters this one is. Real life and natural laws are seen to grip. Is this a hidden? No, natural. No, it's not, is it? Real life. Oh goodness, why can't I do this? Real life. Hold all? I don't even know why I think it might be hold all. What on earth is this talking about? Real life and natural laws. I haven't got a clue what's going on with that. I really haven't. I'm sorry. Let's try 17 down, which is 8 letters. Unaffiliated religious individuals initiation in middle of day. Something noon? Is that what's going on there? Unaffiliated, non-partisan? Religious individuals initiation. What on earth? I haven't got a clue. Just don't know that one. Let's try and get some more letters for it. 22 across, 6 letters. Compositions confirmed residents of planet Earth. Compositions confirmed residents of planet Earth ? Of planet. Residents of planet Earth ? Compositions. I don't have a clue about that one either. I'm going to go for 16. 7 letters. Relief only some deny, donating to the West. That one I have got, I think. Now, we talk about this. I used to talk about this a lot and claim there was always or only one of these in a Times crossword. I think there can now be 2 if one of them is a reversal, and this one is a reversal. And these are the ones I always looked for when I first started doing cryptic crosswords. I don't know how old I would have been then. 11 or 12 probably. So it's a hidden. The answer, I think, is hidden in the clue. So the phrase we need to look at is only some, because the constructor has to tell you if they're hiding the answer in the clue. So we're taking only some of the letters, deny donating, but we're taking them to the west, i.e. reverse. This is an across clue, so if things go to the west, they reverse. And if you look inside deny donating, I think you can see spelt out ANODYNE. Anodyne. And I think if something is anodyne, it's a relief. Let's actually look at the formal definition. Something's anodyne. I always think it's a bit plain and dull, but bland is there. a medicine that allays pain. So that's definitely something that gives relief, isn't it? So this does perhaps have noon around the edge of it for 17 down. Non-union? No. Let's try 18 down, because we've not looked at that. 8 letters. Having ruled out Holy Island, left with just an impression. Having ruled out Holy Island, left with just an impression. Notional? I don't know. Iona is an island, isn't it? I think. That's probably a Hebridean island or something. So, having ruled out Holy. So, I mean, could it be notional? What's having ruled out? Is Iona a holy island, maybe? If Iona was a holy island, for some reason I don't know, could having ruled out be defining not? Maybe it could. And then with just an impression would be the definition of notional. Not Iona, having ruled out Holy Island. Yeah, so if Iona was known as a holy island, then if you were sort of deciding where to, I don't know, hold your conference, and you said not Iona, you would have ruled out. You'd have ruled Iona out from the possible locations of your conference. Oh, that's probably right. I don't know why. Let's look up Iona and see if it says Holy Island. It doesn't say anything because it's going to be a proper noun. So we can't do anything with that. But, I mean, it's possible, isn't it? Let's go back to 22 across then. Compositions. Confirmed residents of planet Earth. Compositions. It seems like it should be a plural. Compositions. Confirmed residents of planet Earth. Okay, I'm going to have to get this one, aren't I? Oh, well, 17 down. Unaffiliated. Religious individuals' initiation in middle of the day. Let me just put non-union in. I don't think it's right. But I just need to think about something. Because that has got noon around the outside, and it's got none. That could be a religious. Yeah, I think maybe non-union is right, but again, it's brutally hard. So the recipe there, I think religious can be used as a noun, a religious. He's a bit of a religious. Might that be used to sort of as a pejorative to say somebody who is very religious? If it could be, then a nun, N-U-N, would be an example of a religious. And then individual's initiation would be the initial letter of the word individual, which would be I. And none, so we put none I in noon, middle of the day, to create non-union. Unaffiliated. If you're not part of a union, you would be unaffiliated. It's possible, isn't it? And then what's this then? 90? Nonettes, compositions. Oh, it'll be nonettes, musical compositions. I don't know why yet. Confirmed residents of planet Earth. Non-ET. That's ridiculous. Non-ETs, so non-extraterrestrials would be residents of planet Earth. I love that. Non-ETs. The question mark there is very much getting at what I said the original question mark might be. You know, it's an outrageous play on words, and therefore it almost needs a double question mark. But no, that's what the question mark is doing. And nonettes, obviously, are musical competitions, I think, for 9 people. So that bottom right-hand corner is absolutely brutal. Let's look at non-union then, because I'm not going to change that. There must be oh, it's not even in the dictionary. Oh, it is. It's hyphenated here. Not attached to a trade union. So it's there. And then religious, is that a noun? A monastic order. Devoted fidelity, monastic life, a monastic order. Is that none? A monastic order, a female member of a religious order. That's probably the sense in which it's meant, isn't it? It's still not easy to pass, even with a dictionary. Let's try 14. 3-5. Nothing loaded in that case. What's charged magazine? Nothing loaded in that case. What's charged magazine? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I mean, I think it might be a type of magazine. The Onion? Is that a magazine or is that an online blog? You know, it is the Onion, isn't it? Is the... I don't know. I don't even know what the Onion is. I just think I've heard of it. But the recipe is okay there, because the way it works, nothing can be signified by an O in cryptic crossword land. And that is because if we look at O, I think we looked at this last week. If we look at O, the definition of the word O includes naught or nothing. So let me just check I haven't messed up the screen by doing that. No, that's fine, isn't it? So nothing loaded. So O is loaded into, if you load something into it, you put it inside a word that means in that case. Well, a synonym of in that case would be then. In that case, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. So inside then we put O. And then what's charged? Well, a charged particle is an ion. We almost looked that up when I was looking for Iona. So theon plus ion gives the Onion, which I think is a magazine. It might be an online magazine. I really don't know, and I apologise. And I always look at the comments to help modify my level of ignorance. Right, let's go. How are we going to do this? I think we're probably going to have to work upwards on the right. Although I don't get an E at the end of a word is not exciting, is it? Maybe 11 across? 4-8. A breakfast order for one. Bill's golf round ahead. A breakfast order for one. So maybe this is something like Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict. Why is it Eggs Benedict? I know why it might be. For one, if you said for one, you'd be saying for example. Now that could be e.g. It must be Eggs Benedict. I don't understand it again. Why is it Eggs Benedict? A breakfast order might be Eggs Benedict. So e.g., for one, Bill. Bill's golf round ahead. Golf can be G in the international radio alphabet. I don't think it is. I think I'm wrong about this. I think it's egg something. Eggs. I'm not sure. It might be Eggs Benedict, and I just don't understand it. But the way I read the clue is for one is e.g. Then I need a word that means Bill. I don't know what that is. But then golf I think is G, and round, I need a word that means round. I don't know, beginning with S, I think. And that's going ahead of our word that means bill. A bill could be a beak. Or I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's eggs, though. So let's see if 4 down becomes doable. 8 letters. The cynic leaves us eating melon. The cynic leaves us eating melon. What? I think there's a melon called an OG or something, isn't there? OGEE, is that a type of melon? That could be rubbish. Leaves us. The cynic. So this is going to be the name of somebody who's a cynic. So somebody who doubts, somebody. It could be a Latin name. It looks like it's going to be a Latin name, doesn't it? Leaves us eating melon. If you leave, you go. Or tea leaves. Tea. Oh, is gala a type of melon? I'm not sure, actually. I don't know that one. I thought that's a terrifying clue. I think this is some classical illusion I don't know. 3 down, 12 letters. Ill-timed counter logic makes right arguments in the end. Ill-timed counter logic makes right amends arguments in the end. Ill-timed counter. I don't know. If I'm guessing here, I think this is a 12-letter word, which means ill-timed. Then counter logic. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that could be. Counter logic makes right. Makes right feels like a word like amends or edits. And then arguments in the end. That's the only part of the clue that I feel must be indicating an S. You know, the last letter of the word, or the end letter of the word arguments. But I don't. Oh, goodness me, I have no clue. I've got an M in that one. I haven't used that. Let's have a look at 2 down. I've never looked at this one. 5, Uncle Sam. 5-3. Meet me on the waves. Meet me on the waves. Lucky Jim. Meet me on the waves. Meet me. Sorry, I know I'm just... I don't know what that means. I mean, on the waves makes it sound like it's on the... I mean, it could be on the sea, obviously, but it makes it sound to me like it's over the radio, on the radio waves. And then it could be indicating a homophone, something you hear. Wow, I haven't got a clue. We're going to have a look at 13 across, 6 letters. Select pipe to feed empty cistern. Well, that one I can do. Hallelujah. Okay, so again, go through the process. What do we think the definition is? If you think it's select, well done, that's correct. We're looking for a 6-letter word, which means select. How does the recipe work? Pipe to feed empty cistern. Well, if we empty out the word cistern, we're not talking about emptying a real cistern. We're talking about emptying out the word cistern. So that's going to take out all the middle of it. So we're just going to be left with the C and the N. And we're going to put a word, a 4-letter word, for a pipe inside the C and the N. But the way to solve it is once you know C and N are involved, and that we've got a 4-letter word inside C and N, we're looking for a word that means select. It must be chosen, mustn't it? And hose is our pipe there. So let's go back to this. Something ham, hem, him. Lots of possibilities. Meet. Oh, meet. Me on the waves. Something ham then, is it? Meet might be a homophone there. M-E-A-T. Meet. I don't understand that either. The type speck. Is that a type of ham? S-P-E-C-K? Speck ham. Speckham. Wow, I don't know. Oh, look at this one now. Oh, is it ogun? Is that maybe OG is a moulding, and ogun, O-G-E-N, might be the melon. So then, yeah, maybe this is getting better. The cynic. I think leaves us. If I could think of a 2-letter word for leaves, then I'm putting us here all around the ogun melon, if ogun is the melon. So 2-letter word for leaves. And the whole thing means the cynic, Diogenes or something. Cynic. Diogenes. Why does that ring a bell? No, Diogenes. Diogenes. Dies leaves us. Oh, that's vicious. That is vicious. So leaves us, if you leave, euphemistically, if you leave us, you die, don't you? So dies eats the melon, the ogun, to give Diogenes, who presumably was a cynic in classical, I don't know, in something. Let's check whether the bits of that I think are ogun, that is a melon. I don't know if I don't think Diogenes will be in here. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, that's quite useful, actually. So this is the adjective diogenic, relating to the cynic philosopher Diogenes. So that's very helpful. Okay, so now let's go back to this one. The last thing, batter needs to stop collapse. I don't have a clue what that's talking about. Have we looked at 5 down? No, let's look at that. 7 letters. Brought into line. Book parts rather like Peter or Roger. Rabbity. Oh, that's probably right, actually, because there is a Roger Rabbit. There's certainly a Peter Rabbit. Why is that? Okay, rabbit. I don't know if it's right, but it feels right. Brought in. A line is a ray. That's right. It's completely right. Okay, like Peter or Roger, question mark is the definition, as in like a rabbit. Brought into line. Now, a ray is a line. R-A-Y. I think you get rays in mathematics. Book can be abbreviated to B. Let's have a look at that. It definitely can be. It definitely can be. No, it really can be. Book. There we go. Parts. Bit. Book parts. Parts of something are a bit of it, aren't they? I think that's how it's meant to work. So it's ray around B and bit for parts, and rather like Peter or Roger, rabbity. Now, oh, ex Benedict looks right again then. Oh, why can't I see why that's right? A breakfast order. Oh, order for one. Is that a Benedictine order? Benedict, maybe. Is order for Bill's golf round ahead. It's not something to do with Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, is it? Bill, hang on. For one. Bill. I don't know. So maybe a breakfast can be eggs Benedict rather than a breakfast order. Then, okay, maybe order is Benedict. I don't know if that's right, because I would have said the order was Benedictine, but let's say if order could be Benedict, then for one, e.g., Bills, golf. I just don't understand this Bills golf round ahead. Round ahead. Per annum. Bills. Golf. Oh. Okay, I've had another idea. Okay, there is a word, neb, N-E-B, which I think is a beak. So, nebs. Okay, all right. How's this? This might be total and utter rubbish. Order, I'm now going to claim, might be dict. D-I-C-T. Now, that might be short for diktat. Now, go with me on this. So let's say that was true, which I'm not at all sure it is, but this is a potential passing of the clue. For one is e.g., just as we said at the very beginning. But that's all of this is going ahead of our dict. Okay, so we've got e.g., and then we've got Bill's golf round. Well, nebs G, N-E-B-S for the Bills part of that. Golf is that G, and that goes round and this is all ahead of the word dict. I think that must be how it works. I mean, that's so difficult. But dict, I'm not changing it. Dict. Oh, it's just a word, is it? A saying. Order. What was it? It was an order, wasn't it? It doesn't look like I've made it. I thought a neb was a beak. It is. Okay, a neb is a bill, which is even more. It's synonymous with the word bill. So dictat is obviously a... Oh, it's dictat with a K then, is it? I thought... Order. A saying. Is a saying an order? Oh, to order, to dictate? I don't know. Saying. Both of these are obscure as well, so it's unlikely they'd be used without some reference to the fact they were using an olden form. It could be my dictionary as well. My dictionary is older than it's meant to be. Sorry, Shane, if you're watching this. Okay, but that's my best guess as to how that... I think order might be dict, D-I-C-T. There could be another way of reading this, though, that is more sound. No, I'm not saying it's not sound, I'm just saying my dictionary doesn't make it sound. But we have now got an A at the start of this one, which is 8 letters, 9 across. What's encapsulated by 007 and certain to stir? Oh, it's a brilliant clue again, isn't it? To stir is to agitate. Agitator? What's encapsulated by a... Oh, 007 is an agent. Yeah. An adjutant, then. Maybe that's a word. If that... Oh, it's not enough. Oh... no, okay, something like that. If it's something like that, what? Certain to stir. I thought... I was thinking what's is going to be its. I'm not sure. Bobbins. Sorry. Let's have a look at 6 down. I can do this one. 6 letters. A particular example is in this position. Now we're helped here by having this N and the E. So if you have an idea as to what might fit, go with it. Try and justify it. That's what I had to do. I thought the answer might be a word that meant position. Now your position on something, if you take a position, you take a stance. Now knowing that if I told you the answer was stance, read the clue again and see if you can see why it's stance. It's not easy to see why, but it is. This is quite an unusual type of clue. A particular example of something is an instance of it. So let's read the clue as sort of a mathematical phrase. A particular example, an instance, equals in plus a word for this position, i.e. the position we're going to enter as the answer. So that's how it works, is instance equals in plus stance, with the stance being what we enter at 6 down. Now my idea for this being agent is just total rubbish, isn't it? What's encapsulated by 007 and certain to stir? Ow. I don't know. No, I don't know, but we might be able to get 7 down, which ends in I, 4 letters. Heritage group taken in by first class con. That's such a good clue. Heritage group. That's got to be the National Trust. Yes. Okay, so that's the only thought you need to have to solve this clue. Admittedly, if you don't have that thought, it's quite hard. But if you think of the National Trust, NT, Heritage Group, NT, taken in by, so inside, well, it's a 4-letter answer, so there's not many places to put the N and the T, and there are no words apart from that are going to fit there. So the answer's anti, and if you're anti something, you're con, you're against it. So, how does it work? Taken in by first class. Well, first class is A1, A, and then the Roman numeral for the number 1 is I. So anti is going in there. Now, can we get this one as well? This could be instance, couldn't it? I doubt it will be, but pretense would fit. Show. 8 letters. Show coppers curtains connected with front of theatre. Coppers are pence. Yeah, this is pretense. Okay, so we're very fortunate. We had enough checking letters to be able to do this one. Now, how does it work? Well, if you make a show of something, you make a pretense at it. Coppers, pence, P-E-N-C-E, and they curtain, so they surround. Connected with, if something is connected with something, it's on the subject of it. It's re-it, R-E, comes up a lot. With front of theatre. It's nothing to do with the front of the stage or the doors, the theatre doors. It's to do with the front of the word theatre. And that's going to be T there. Now, we should be able to have a stab at this one now. Actioner? No, I don't think it's that. 9 across. So let's look again. A blank T blank blank N blank R. What's encapsulated by 007 and certain to stir? I mean, it's appalling, isn't it, that I can't just say I know the answer to this. What's encapsulated by 007? 007 went to... Did 007 go to Eton? I have a feeling. What's encapsulated by 007 and certain to stir? I'm sorry, I actually can't think of a word that fits, which is a bit embarrassing. Attainer would fit. But it's not, I'm sure it's not right. What's encapsulated by 007? And certain to stir. It feels like it's an anagram of... It's not an anagram of certain and O or something, is it? Okay. That would give me the fodder for actioner. I don't know actioner as a word at all, but okay, I'm going to pop that in and just try and explain. I mean, I don't know. It must be an and lit for this to be the answer. So actioner must be an actioner. Is that something that... I don't even know. I can't even guess really what it is. But let's say that this whole phrase defined the word actioner. How would the recipe part of it work? What's encapsulated by 007? Well, the middle part of 007 is the second O, isn't it? And we've already looked at how the letter O is synonymous with the number 0. So that could be indicating the letter O. And certain, well, that's 7 letters. So we've now got 8 letters and we're going to stir them up. We're going to anagram them. So an actioner I mean, I don't know. Maybe an actioner is a type of movie? I've heard of an action movie. An actioner. Oh, it is a film or story which has plenty of action. So yeah, that's lovely. So that's totally defined by an actioner. Would often feature 007, and it would, of course, be certain to stir you up, just as the martini would be. No, it wouldn't be. No, it would be shaken, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be stirred. Right, anyway, let's move swiftly on. One across. 8 letters. The best Bond film? It is the modern Casino Royale, obviously, which also had the best Bond girl in it. And I mean, that's subjectively true. There's really no subjectivity involved. There, I've said it. Second best, probably Goldfinger. Probably that's right as well. Now, let's have a look. Anyway, let's go back to this. What is going on with this? The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Coriander. No, coriander is not relevant. The last thing batter needs. Crusader? No. Collapse. If something collapses, it is a collapse, is a complete. I can only think of words like plunder and thunder. I'm trying to think of a word like that means collapse. Asunder? No. I'm not sure. Okay. Have we looked at this one? Oh, we did. Yes, that looked impossible. Have I looked at 10 across? No, I've never looked at this one. 4 letters. You did ask to ignore such a significant difference. You did ask to ignore such a significant difference. A significant difference. What is going on with that? You did ask. You did ask. I'm trying to think of a shortened form of that you would say to somebody rather than you did ask. TMI or something. Such a significant difference. If there's a really significant difference between me and you, there is a gulf between us, isn't there? Gulf. Why is gulf the answer? Well, probably because it isn't. A significant difference is there's an absolute mile between us. Oh, this is impossible without checking letters. Absolutely impossible. Let's try 3 down again. Ill-timed counter logic makes right arguments in the end. Ill-timed, unreasonable. Unreasonable. Why is that the answer? It fits. Ill-timed. Oh, unseasonable. Oh, God, that's brilliant. Oh, my goodness. Right. Unsolvable without the checking letters, but solvable with them. I think if something's ill-timed, it's unseasonable. Why is this right? Well, counter logic. Counter logic must be unreasonable. What I've noticed, if we make the R of unreasonable into the S, the final letter, the end letter of the word arguments, so this phrase makes right arguments in the end, is saying look at the word unreasonable and make its R into an S, and that's going to give us this word unseasonable. Now for that to be right, ill-timed counter logic must be unreasonable. I mean, that must be how it works. I can't quite... The part of speech in which unreasonable is counter logic, I can't quite get... But I think, I mean, that feels like it's so good from a... What's this then? Rio Bravo? Is that a film? Rio Bravo? Rio Grande. It's not Rio Grande. Rio... Is there a film something like that? Rio Bravo? Or Rio Bravo? I don't know. Film. Let's say that's a film, right? One crashing against a tree. Then reverse. Oh, over could be just O. Oh, against could be V. Rio. I quite like the idea of this. I just don't understand it at all. Is it Rio? No, I think it's Rio. Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't know. Oh, bother. And this might not even be a film. One crashing. Oh, one crashing. If you're gate crashing. Arbor. Oh my goodness, that's so hard. This is unbelievably difficult. Rio Bravo, I think, might be a film. Not sure. But I could justify this, I think. The way I would do that is I would say that 1 is the Roman numeral, or the Roman numeral for the number 1 is I. So that is crashing, so it's gate crashing, so it's inside. Against, if you're against in a football match, your versus V can be against. And a tree, I think, is an arbor, A-R-B-O-R. I mean, certainly the word arboreal means of trees. So let's say arbor can mean trees, or tree. And that's reversed. And then over from cricket scoring can be O. That would be my best guess. Now, that relies on arbor, a tree, especially in scientific, just from the Latin. So that's probably correct, I think. Let's go for this one then. Attend or something. 6 letters. On stage, hopefully you can see the whole clue there. On stage as temporary replacement. Acting, yeah. If you're on stage, obviously you're acting, and if you're acting something, you're a temporary replacement. So that's doable. Why is this hold all going down here? Probably because it isn't. 7 letters. Real life and natural laws are seen to grip. Oh, wow, it's right. It's hold all. The reason is if you look at the phrase real life, inside it, it holds the word all. Inside natural laws, that phrase holds the word all. So phrases, real life and natural laws, are seen to hold the word all, and a hold all must be a grip. I thought a hold all was like a rucksack, but it must be a grip, or maybe a grip can be a rucksack. I see accommodating receptacle for clothes and a large strong bag, so a grip must be a bag. Maybe it's, no, a grip. Hang on, a grip sack, a travelling bag. Wow, didn't know that. Well, we have got ourselves into a position where we have 3 left somehow. Let's go back to 10 across, which now ends in S. You did ask to ignore such a. You did ask to ignore such a significant difference. A significant difference is a. I don't know what that is. And we've got now, it just looks like this is something like asunder or shoulder. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Do you need a shoulder to cry on or something? What's going on there? The last thing batter needs to stop, which is R, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, if I could get this ham one, which is the one I should be able to get looking at what we've got, shouldn't it? I mean, this should be very, very doable. Meet me on the waves. Me on the waves. Parma ham? Parma ham is a thing. Parma ham? Why is it Parma ham? Well, if it was Parma ham, that would be a P. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Don't like it. I just can't think of anything else. Parma ham. Meet me on the waves. I mean, what? Is it really possible that this isn't ham? Hem? Him? Hum. Oh, hum. Hum, maybe. The problem with when you're dealing with somebody with John's brain, which is, you know, a magnificent thing, it is a magnificent thing, is you know that he'll have done something that it might be beyond your brain to figure out. Meet me on the waves. Something hum I'm now wondering about. What is this? Is it shoulder? Why is it? The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. I don't know. I really don't know. I've got it. I mean, to be honest, you can see it's totally my own fault that I can't finish this. There is nothing. There is nothing. I just have to be able to solve the clues. The last thing batter needs. A batter might be your eyelids. Do they bat? I mean, it can't be a reference to cooking. It just can't. The last thing. It's not a pangram. I don't think I can make use of, it's not like this needs to be a cue or something. Let's go back to 10 across again. You did ask to ignore such a significant difference. There is an absolute. You did ask. It's not. I've just noticed that in you did ask, if you look at the even letters, you can get odds. If you're at odds with somebody, odds, why is that right then? You did ask to ignore such. So is it saying? I mean, that's ridiculous. You have to think of the answer and then apply it to the phrase. Because if you ignore the odd letters in the phrase you did ask, I mean, it's like self-fulfilling. It's brutal. That's so hard. Because you can't pass it until you think of the answer. Because you have to look at the phrase you did ask, realise that if you take the odd numbered letters out of the phrase, you can see that the answer might be odds. And if you're at odds with somebody, it's a significant difference. Good grief. But, no. Now, I mean, it's a great letter, to be fair. Meet me on the waves. Buddy hum? Buddy hum? Last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Is a collapse a blunder? Not really. To collapse is to. I keep thinking of asunder, and it's not that. I'm sure it isn't. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. And then this one, I don't know what this is. Meet me on the waves. Meet me on the waves. Meet me on. Meet. What is going on? Radio ham. That's the answer. A radio ham is like an amateur radio enthusiast. I don't know why it's that though. Meet me on the waves. Is it some reference to meat and MEAT being a homophone? Maybe that is what's going on. Somebody you might meet over the radio waves is a radio ham. And then the inverted commas for the meat is sort of saying, if we homophone that word, it would have the connotation of being related to ham. Maybe, I don't know, radio ham. And if that's right, well, actually, that R is exactly the last thing in batter, isn't it? So all we've got to do is think of the last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Is it possible some of these checking letters are wrong? I don't think so. Collapse. So all I think I've got to do is just think of the answer. It's that easy. Well, I mean, my brain is fried now. It's just fried. I know grounder, I think, is a word, but I don't think it's that. No, well, I don't understand why it would be that. So that first letter, I mean, I quite like B as the first letter, but I can't think of a word that fits. Bounder, brounder. WX. Wow. I've gone through something rounder. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Something I don't think there are. We're using adjective, using the word must in relation to any of these clues is just wrong, completely wrong. The last thing batter needs. Why is that not just the R? And that's going to stop, so it's going to be inside a 7-letter word for collapse. Something collapse. A collapse is a... I don't know. Why can't my brain do it? My brain it's letting me down. It's letting you all down. You're getting cross. I know you are. I can feel the devil on the shoulder telling me off. I promise you I am trying to solve it. It can't be an F here, can it? Founder. If something founders, it collapses. Frounder? That's not a word, I don't think. But if something founders, does it collapse? I mean, that's frounder. That's the best thought I've had. I don't know that at all. I don't think it is a word. I've never seen it before in my life. A frounder. But if to founder is to collapse, and I think if something founders on the rocks, doesn't it? Maybe that. I mean, it's explainable. All right, in the interest of keeping the video down to an incredibly long time. Oh no, I've got it wrong. Collapse must be. It's not founder. Gown? Is it grounder then? I don't know. Is there a word? Gown? Sounder? Gosh, I should be able to do it. I mean, let me just try and at least. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. Frounder? Maybe I've mispassed the clue. I mean, that's possible. Rounder? A rounder? A rounder? Around. The last thing batter needs. Does a batter need a rounder? Or maybe zrounder. I'd love it if there was a word zrounder, but I don't think there is. Let's look at this. Grounder is the only word. Someone who or something that grounds, a ball that keeps low. The last thing a batter needs, I suppose a batter wouldn't like a grounder. Oh, okay, so is it saying there's a type of ball called a grounder, which would be a bad ball to get if you were trying to stop a collapse? But then doesn't that imply there is a word gounder that means to collapse? No, there isn't. Oh, why don't I understand? I'm so sorry. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. It must be an andlet. It can't. This cannot be a cryptic definition. I don't understand it though. I'm so sorry. The last thing batter needs to stop collapse. I mean, unless the clue is meant to be referring to cooking, and the cryptic reading is, oh no, you meant to read it as a cricket reference. But when I first read it, I read it as a cricket reference. So that doesn't really, no, it's there is some wordplay. I just don't know what it is. So I've nearly solved it, but I mean that is very hard. It's a brutally difficult puzzle. I loved it. There's so much cleverness. I mean, the IQ of the setter is just on display. I'm cross with myself that I can't explain this one properly for you, but have a look at the comments. There's so many clever people who watch these videos who will be able to enlighten us as to what I should be thinking about there. But in the interest, how long is this video so far? Hang on, let me just look. We're at 1 hour 39, and my upload speed at the moment is so bad. This is going to be a late video, but I would like to have a quick go at the quick cryptic, hopefully, where I will hopefully be able to solve the clue slightly quicker. Let's have a look. By Worm. Patriarch backing wicked Tory. I don't know. Finish second to Peloton's lead or stop. Endlessly cunning Vixen. Siren, I was going to say, I don't think it is that. Heather penning books, saucy ones. It's going to have, erotica is what that is. What one called icy? Old spaceman's weapon powerful. No clue. Acting company moving to Peru is a troupe. Poem shown, that's going to be shown in text regularly. Oh, I thought that was going to be a hidden. I can't see it. Bother. Cleaner keeping Charles for patron. Sponsor Godfather. Don't know. Power and energy begin at P. Small child to argue in deprived area. Not sure. Chapter in story reversing brilliant success. Feels like it clapped to me. Continuous pain expert rings hospital. That's ache. Intellectually deep expert discovered. Don't know. Book to help bassist. US bowler in local match. Must be a derby. State where man's hip receives treatment. State where man's hip. New. What is that? Oh, silly Simon. Best stuff about English. That's cream, I think. King I see wearing ripped hat. I should be able to get that card. Police initially called Prang, is it? Yeah. Reassemble tediously for work at home. Do it yourself. Something I should never be allowed anywhere near. Fantastic hero is good as Shrek say. Ogreish? Fantastic. Is it ogreish? Maybe. Tried eating duck lightly browned. I think it's that. Italian food. It's pasta. It's a hidden. Seamstress in underground conduit. Should be able to get that. Can't. That's pilau rice. Patriarch. Backing wicked. Tory. Is that Badenoch? Enoch. Yeah, that's very hard. That's very hard. Endlessly currently. I want that to be Siren. Oh, is it Shrewd? Shrewd, yeah. So it is New Hampshire is what that is. Purchaser? Something like that, I think. What's this then? Deprived area, Skid Row. Seamstress, sewer. Intellectual, deep. Expert, discovered, profound. This is a good puzzle. Poem shown, ode, in text regularly. Oh, Simon, you silly man. Armstrong is the old spaceman. King, is it a trifold? King I see wearing ripped, torn, tricorn hat. Wow. And then sonnet, I'm going to say. Shown in text regularly. Oh, it is regularly occurring. That's a really good puzzle. That's a really good puzzle. Terrible time. But I mean, in fairness to me, my brain is totally fried by John. John Henderson has fried me, and therefore Worms puzzle was far harder than it should have been. But there we go. We're through. We're out the other side. Do let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. Please don't be disheartened if you are new to Cryptic Crosswords and you found either of the puzzles difficult. They were both quite hard today, especially the first one. And yeah, we enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.